Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and exactly 2 weeks ago I received this Annke wireless doorbell, and I did a live on unboxing it and setting it up. And as I said in that live video, I will do like a shorter review where I can summarize how this whole thing is working after using it for about 2 weeks, which is not a lot, but it's still definitely more than when I unbox it and I have sort of the first impressions. So this is what I want to summarize it now. So in the past few weeks, I was sort of like prepping this up and then, using it next to my doorway so I can see sort of like how the motion sensitivity works and how it creates recording, how good the image quality is. I have a lot of different buttons and everything at my gate, so I didn't want to just disturb people or confuse people by having yet another device and they wouldn't know which one to press. But still, it works fine. But then I also realized that, this device has sort of battery power motion detection and PIR sensor. So it is actually great as a trail cam, sort of like a device that I can, place around in a garden because I want to, just look at the bird feeder. I also want to do this, want to watch on the cats, who, the neighbors' cats who are shitting on my lawn. So it's, it can do all these things because it has all the capabilities, and the only thing I wasn't using is the button where you do the calling. But after these 2 weeks, I have to say that I'm actually still happy with this device. It's a battery operated doorbell, so it is very easy to install. Even if you haven't done any provision for doorbells, you don't have power, you don't have Ethernet, because it connects over Wi-Fi. It has a built-in battery, so it will operate from that battery for a couple of months time. And so whenever it runs out of battery, you just have to remove it from the cradle, take it inside, and then you can charge it. And as I mentioned, it has the push button, so you can anyone who arrives to your door can push the button. You get a notification or a call on your phone, and then you can just talk to him. So there's 2 ways audio, and I have to say that I think the image quality is pretty good with this device. Last time when I checked, it was for $35 on the Annke side, so I think that's a reasonable price for a camera which has sort of like, a ready to run thing. You can just have, basically you just screw it on a wall and you're ready to go. It doesn't require any special installation. If I want to say anything on the downside, I would say that probably this is the first camera where I noticed that the software is designed in a way that it would be a lot more convenient if you can, sign up for the additional subscription model, because everything that this camera records, it stores on the SD card that you install on the SD card, but it also syncs those recordings over to the cloud. And if you don't pay anything, you get these cloud recordings are only stored for the last 3 days. And then if you subscribe to any of the plans, you will get additional storages. And the way you review this recording is much more convenient if you're reviewing it from the cloud as opposed to reviewing it from the SD card. So you can still do it, but it's just like, again, the whole program is designed that it just makes it much more convenient over the cloud. And probably the first thing that I've seen in these sort of like security camera is that some of the features are also linked to these subscriptions. So there are areas that you can configure on this device, so it would only detect motion in certain areas of the image. That feature is only available if you subscribe. And the personal, vehicle and pet detection, yet again, that's also only available on the subscription plan. So I don't pay anything for this. So at the moment I get notification that is motion detected, but it's not going to tell me whether it's a car, a person, or a pet, or somebody else. But I have to say that the motion detection is really good. So I managed to dial it in. So it recorded whenever I was approaching the camera, and it wasn't creating false recordings. And also when I used it in the garden, it was only recording when it was detecting like a cat, or in my case that was hedgehogs. I placed it next to the bird feeder and it was only creating recordings when there was a bird. In that respect, I think that's really, really good. It doesn't give false recordings, or at least you can just dial in and it works just fine. Okay, so that's the summary, quick summary in 5 minutes. I quickly want to go through the package and everything just to show you how it works. You can pretty much see everything on here. So that's the box it comes in, and this is the device. And you see some interesting stuff here because I have, well, this is my quick and easy mounting option. So I have these Velcros, and I wedge these Velcros between the device and this adapter, because it comes with two different adapters. It comes with this wedge, and then it comes with this other wedge. So you can just mount it either to look downwards, upwards, or to sideways. And so you mount either of these two wedges on your wall or whatever surface, and then you just clip the device on the on this wedge. And also, and basically I was using these to strap this on my dump pipe and on a piece of wood and on the tree when I was just moving this around in order to get footage from the very different locations. So these are the mounting options, and you get this indoor unit. This is a chime unit, so you just have to plug this into the USB, and then you have to pair it with the actual device. The only thing is, I mean, I haven't done extensive testing on this chime, but the documentation says that this chime is only for about 4 meters. So that works for US houses where you usually have the doorbell on your front door. But for European houses where you usually have a gate, like, you know, up front in the, like at the, you know, where your property starts or when your plot starts, I mean, that would be easily more than 4 meters. So yeah, I'm not really sure if this chime would work in a European setting. You also get a USB lead, you get some screws, and one of the extra things you get in the screws, you get this pin, which looks like a SIM card ejector, because what you can do here, you can push this pin up here on the top. And that allows the device to be ejected from this cradle. So you can see how you can either mount this cradle directly on the door or with one of the wedges, door, wall, whatever. And then obviously when the battery runs dry, then you can just take this inside, and you have the micro USB here to charge it. And you also have 2 more ports on the side here, sorry, on the bottom, to put the micro SD card for local recording. Focus. And you also get a reset button. Other than that, there is not much else on this device. Oh yeah, there is a button here for anti-tamper thingy. So you can configure the device to basically activate a siren whenever this is removed. So this is like an anti-theft protection, which I've disabled, but you can just enable it in the app. And yeah, so you have a big button here. You have PIR sensor and the camera and a couple of holes here. So probably this is the microphone, but that's pretty much it. It feels fairly solid. It has definitely certain weights to it, and yeah, I think it's a nice piece of kit. It looks okay. I don't mind the design, and yeah, there is also Velcro, and there is also a user manual which comes in a couple of different languages. So yeah, and there is an iOS and an Android app to run this. The one thing I don't quite like is that it uses a Vico Home app for this device, and this is the 3rd app that I had to use from various Annke devices. But they told me that they have sort of like these consumer products with one app, and they have some other cameras that are using a different app, and sort of like the professional thingy uses the 3rd type of app. So it's based on product lines. Okay, so this is the application to actually use the unit and you know how the thing works. And I mean, it's just like any other application nowadays. You have to set up for an account, probably there's a verification code. If you are interested in the steps, you can just watch my live, because it has all the details how I did the setup. And I have only one device at the moment, so there's only one device is shown here, and you can see that it was installed at the bird feeder, so it shows me the last image from the bird feeder. And you have the home screen where you see the devices. You have a library screen where you see the audio recordings. As I said, you can see here that I don't have a cloud subscription, so I can only see the last 3 days of recording. So if well, there was no recording on the 11th, so I see some recordings on the 10th and yesterday and today. And of course, if you go to if you go over to the SD card, then you have access to all the recordings from previously. But you will see that the SD card screen looks completely different, and it's much less intuitive. You can see all the recordings, so you just go there and you just wait for a moment, and you see a hedgehog. So it shows the recording, but for example, here you can't just select the recordings and then download. So as you can see here, I can access all the recordings since I installed the device on the 31st, and and of course I don't remember what the SD card in it, but it has space for probably like months worth of recording. So, it still works, but again, if I go back to the cloud one, it's just much easier, and also it is much faster. So you can see how quickly I can jump between recordings, and also if I select these, I can just select the recordings and I click download, and it downloads them or deletes them. So again, they just make it easier, so you want to use the cloud. And you can filter as well. So this is where you would be able to filter some of the, I guess, if, I only want to see the recordings where vehicles or people on it. Or you can set these activity zones, and you can see that to use the activity zones where you can configure which area the image should detect motion, you have to buy one of the plans. Okay, and finally you have a user section where you can manage your things, and you can upgrade, and you pay the additional money, and blah blah blah. Okay, so let's go back to the device. So if I just click on the main plus, then it starts the recording. So now you are here. Woo, that's good. So the feed is nice, the response to light condition is nice, and you can just turn on the audio here. You can create an alarm, you can put the device to sleep. So in my testing, I've never put the device into sleep, and you can press the thingy here to talk. So that's absolutely fine. And I can create a recording or a snapshot here, which creates the recording directly on my phone. And you can also do this one, and then it turns sideways, and you can watch the video full screen. So that's it. So that's the main view of the device. And also, if I go out, let me just go to the settings and back. Okay, now the recording stops, and if I press the button, then I get a notification here that the doorbell is ringing. So I click and it starts okay, that's the other thing. So what happened now is that I pressed the button, and then it created it started creating a recording. So when I respond to that in the app, then it shows me the recording, which for me, it doesn't really make sense, because I mean, you want to go into the live view, because I mean, I guess nobody is going to start speaking when they press the button. They rather just wait for you to talk to them. So you would anyway want to go to the live view and press the speak button. So I'm not sure why it is done this way, but there is just extra steps that I don't think is necessary. And what is nice, you can also configure the app so that when anyone presses the buttons, it doesn't give you a notification, but it gives you a phone call. So that's nice. And if I go to the settings, you can see the different notifications. You can see I installed a 32 gig card, and I only have 1 gig recordings on it for the last 2 weeks, so that's definitely a lot. And you can see that I've never put this device into sleep mode, and in the last 2 weeks from 100% I've gone down to 71%, which is fine. So probably you have to, if you don't put it into sleep, you have to like charge it every 2 months, I would say, based on this one roughly. but especially that I put it next to the bird feeder, it was creating like 30 recordings per day. So obviously this wouldn't happen if you just have it on sort of sleep and it only wakes up when somebody presses the button. I quickly going to fly through the settings, yeah, you can set name and the location, update, so nothing really interesting here, time zone. And the motion detection, you can turn it on and you can select between sensitivity and you can set how long the recording should be. And yeah, SD card cooldown, I haven't even configured these. And so you can set it to sleep mode as well, and you can schedule the sleep. So I haven't configured this, but that's how you can play around with energy usage. And notification settings, again, you can set a doorbell notification, so anyone presses the button, and you can set it that it should be a notification or phone call. And you can set separate notifications if a motion is detected. And all this intelligent notification and the zones is tied to the paid, one of the paid plans. And by the way, these are the, so that's one basic, so it gives you more, basically 15 days of cloud, and then 30 days of cloud and 60 days. Rest is the same. So you get the intelligent notification and the activity zones in all of the plans. Alarm settings, you can have an audible alarm and a remove alarm. So that's the remove alarm when it notices that this button is no longer pressed because it's removed from the case. And you have video settings, sort of like resolution, auto, night vision, sensitivity levels, nothing really special. That's the SD card, so that's the same menu that we have already seen. So I'm just going to back out from here. And on the chime settings, that's how you bind the chime to the device. So, it wasn't working for the first time, so I had to upgrade the firmware on the main camera. And after that, the pairing worked without any issues. And light settings, yeah, indicator lights, you can turn this off. And power settings, auto on after charging, yeah, fine. Audio settings, that's the sort of like the audio of the chime which comes out from here, or the different doorbells, and you know, whether you want to record audio as well. And of course you can share the device with different users, and there is also like a built-in installation guide of how you should place this, and yeah, different mounting options, or you can use the glue as well, and screws, and then how you get it out for charging. But that's sort of roughly explained in the documentation, the user manual as well. So I think I wanted to keep this short because, you know, if you want to see the whole things, then I think it was a 45-minute long video as well. But you know, after all, this is a you know, it's a doorbell, so it has all the features that you would expect from the doorbell. It has a few more, but nothing, you know, extraordinary. But you know, for a good price, I think it delivers a good quality, good videos. It has all the basic features, and you have some of these nice stuff as well. Sorry, for example, you can sleep all the notifications, and a couple of more features here if you would have multiple devices. And this is the pairing feature, and the pairing was also quite easy because this uses a QR code as well, so you can just very easily just scan the QR code, and you can add the device to your home, to your application. And that's pretty much it. I'm still happy with it. As I said, I don't really need a doorbell at the moment, but I'm really impressed how it works as a sort of like motion activated recording device with the quality and just the ease of use. I can just carry it around and then just mount it, especially with this Velcro method. So actually, I think I'm going to use it as sort of like a trail cam in the next couple of weeks, just to, you know, record things that are going all over my place in the garden. I mean, I have some hedgehogs, so it would be quite nice to capture some of them on videos, but I think it is equally capable as a doorbell as it was originally intended. If you are interested in this device, I'm going to leave a purchasing links down in the video description, but I think that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.